The air was thick with the scent of jasmine and salt on the Philippines' exquisite island, setting the scene for a sultry pre-wedding bash for Darcy and Tom. The atmosphere vibrated with untamed joy. When Darcy finally made her entrance, a wave of applause washed over her, mirroring the rush of pleasure she felt. Glowing, she drifted towards her mother, Renata, whose expression was a perfect mask of control. "Everything is arranged, darling, precisely as you deserve," Renata murmured, her eyes still scanning the horizon for Tom's parents. Just a stone's throw away, Tom, already radiating anticipation, was caught in an unexpected moment. Clutching a discreet bag, the contents a delicious surprise for Darcy, he stepped onto a waiting boat. But the guard, whose eyes held the weary suspicion of the island, mistook the groom for a notorious pirate. A sudden gunpoint. Poor, tempting Tom panicked, his body plunging into the cool water. The guard's sheepish apology was a mere formality before he urged the dripping, irresistible groom toward his party. Back on shore, Darcy's waiting intensified, a tremor of desire beneath her composure. The moment Tom's parents, Carol and Steve, appeared, she felt a heady rush. Carol presented the family knife, a gift steeped in tradition and darkly symbolic luck. Darcy's pleasure at the unique token was palpable. Then, her father, Robert, arrived with his new companion, Harriet, whose very presence was a quiet, unsettling provocation to Renata, a sting of salt in an old wound. Tom finally arrived, his eyes finding Darcy's immediately, a silent conversation passing between them before he offered a cordial, if distracted, greeting to Robert. The celebration was in full glorious swing when the throbbing beat of a helicopter shattered the night. Out stepped Sean. Darcy's breath caught, her ex, invited by her father in a truly reckless move. Sean moved with a predator's confidence, greeting Robert before his eyes locked on Darcy. The sudden possessive lift into his arms sent a tremor of fierce jealousy through Tom, who forced a smile and a hand in greeting, his inner temperature rising. The dinner table was an opulent stage for their drama. Darcy's graceful speech of thanks was followed by Tom's. His words, an ardent, emotional tribute to his parents and his bride, left everyone deeply impressed. The party finally dissolved, leaving Darcy and Tom alone in their room. Tom was adding a few final intimate touches to the space when Darcy, her voice low and inviting, called him to the bed. The air thickened with mutual desire. The moment was exquisitely poised when Carol, Tom's mother, burst in. Her gaze swept the scene, and her sudden rigid refusal was a cold shock. A husband and wife before the ceremony? An absolute bad omen. The passionate moment was shattered. They were banished, forced apart, leaving Tom to spend a night of frustrated longing with his father. The next morning, preparation was a tense, focused ritual. Darcy, magnificent in her wedding dress, drew gasps of admiration, though she found the fabric uncomfortably restrictive. Unknown to them, a knot of pirates were converging on the resort, their intent dark. Tom, caught up in his own preparations, received Darcy's urgent message, "Meet me behind the resort." He rushed to the spot, where their private meeting instantly flared into a heated confrontation. Darcy's confession that she craved a simple wedding, not this massive, opulent affair, escalated rapidly into a scream. In a spasm of anger, she struck him, the crack of her palm against his cheek echoing the violence of her frustration before the engagement ring was flung away and she stormed off. In that volatile instant, the pirate struck, their attack a brutal, sudden chaos. Guests were rounded up and plunged unceremoniously into the pool, their fate sealed with the indignity of name tags. Tom spotting his captive guests from a wall and raced to Darcy, the urgency in his eyes mirroring the danger. The pirates, seeing 2 tags remaining, the groom, the bride, sent a man to hunt them. Darcy's phone was uselessly dead. A pirate shadow fell across the room. Tom acted fast, covering his face, but Darcy, in a panicked accidental move, sprayed him instead, leaving him momentarily blinded by the sting. The pirates seized them, tying their hands in a binding that was almost an intimate embrace. The pirate leader called Robert, demanding a king's ransom, $45 million. Robert, his voice a steely echo of a man betrayed, refused to pay until he saw them safe. 2 pirates drove the couple away. Darcy, her mind sharp with survival, asked for a cigarette. The flame was their undoing. She used it to ignite one of her captors. The pirates bolted, leaving the car rolling wildly towards a slope. Tom and Darcy, their bodies pressed close, frantically freed themselves. Tom managed to escape, but Darcy's wedding dress, now a cruel snare, caught her. She was dragged to the brink, saved only by Tom's fierce, desperate grip at the last second. A pirate opened fire, then charged. Tom and Darcy, united by adrenaline, turned on him. They wrestled the grenade from his hand, and Tom's powerful kick sent the man crashing into a rock, silencing him forever. Tom's fear was stark, the reality of taking a life momentarily overwhelming, but Darcy's voice, a steadying presence, reassured him, self-defense. As they walked on, Darcy held the grenade, a trophy of their audacity. Then Tom saw it. The pin was in his hand, the grenade was armed, and their wrists were still bound. Darcy revealed her last asset, the mobile phone, hidden in her underwear, a secret, sensual stash. They walked, seeking the elusive signal to call for help. 2 more pirates were dispatched to track them. Tom and Darcy spotted the zipline house and scrambled to its height, searching for reception. They found a signal, but then the pirates found them, opening fire. The phone tumbled from Darcy's hand. They leapt onto the zipline, their bodies soaring over the heads of their pursuers. As they passed directly above, Darcy dropped the armed grenade. The explosion was deafening. The 2 pirates vanished in the blast. Tom and Darcy crash-landed on the beach, still bound, their eyes fixed on the resort and its captives. They snuck into the kitchen, needing only to sever their ties. The family knife was useless against the ropes. Tom spotted a cutting machine, but the sight of the blade sent Darcy into a primal panic. In the struggle, the machine caught Tom's hand, blood bloomed, and Darcy fainted. A pirate's shout brought him into the kitchen. Tom dragged Darcy to safety, but the pirate saw her, delivering a rough, waking kick. Tom, with the quiet rage of a protector, attacked, seizing the pirate's gun. The fight was brutal, and Tom emerged the victor. In the dead man's pocket, a card. Sean's card. Tom's suspicions solidified, a cold, hard knot in his stomach. But he kept the secret for now. Darcy, a woman reborn, ruthlessly cut her gown short, slipped into the pirate's boots, and took his gun. They slipped into the manager's cabin. Tom sought help online, only to find the network dead. A moment later, Margie, the secretary, appeared from a secret basement door, taking them into the manager's safe haven. The manager's casual explanation, the pirates did this every year, only early this time, sent Darcy into a furious tirade. Margie confessed she had warned Tom, who hadn't taken it seriously. Darcy turned on Tom, her anger sharp. His insecurity had led them into this bloody mess. Their argument ignited once again. 2 pirates entered the room above, the manager swiftly locking the basement door. Tom, desperate, told Darcy to stay put and went upstairs, locking the basement and wedging a table against the door. The pirates captured Tom and dragged him to the pool. They demanded Darcy's location. Tom said nothing. Sean, their fellow hostage, urged him to speak, to get the money and free them all. Tom remained silent, his conviction about Sean absolute. He leaned in and whispered a Filipino curse, one that Darcy had told him Sean used to say to make her laugh. The pirate reacted with a furious blow. Tom used the moment to turn on Sean. He is their leader. He planned all this. He revealed the curse, the shared secret between Sean and Darcy, proving their connection. The pirates were here at Sean's command for Robert's $45 million. Sean's denials were fervent, but Tom produced the card, pulled from his pocket by a fellow hostage. Robert's face contorted in anger. Sean seized the opportunity, shoving Tom, snatching a gun, and turning it on the crowd. In the basement, Darcy, hearing the commotion, wiped her tears. She picked up a gun, transforming from weeping bride to avenging hero. Upstairs, Sean tortured Tom for Darcy's location. Tom finally broke, lying that they had crashed the car and he had left her there. Sean accepted the lie. He grabbed Harriet, Robert's girlfriend, and told Robert to have the money ready upon his return or he would kill both women. He then lifted Harriet into the helicopter and flew off. Just as they left, Darcy emerged from a tunnel, gun in hand, a glorious vision of defiance. But the pirates were faster. They seized her and threw her into the pool. She scanned the faces. Harriet was missing. Steve, Tom's father, edged closer, revealing the truth, captured on his video camera last night. Sean and Harriet kissing. They were a couple. This was their plan. Robert's expression of heartbreak was profound. He turned to Renata, his ex-wife, and offered a broken apology. Harriet and Sean, with a pirate in tow, arrived at the accident site. The wreck convinced them Darcy was dead. The pirate leader railed at Sean. The plan had failed, and he wanted all the money. Harriet, with a sudden, cunning movement, kicked the pirate to the ground, grabbed a gun, and ordered the pilot back. Sean, too, had been betrayed. Back in the pool, Darcy and Tom whispered a plan. Tom stood up, his voice ringing with authority. Now is the right time for the wedding. The pirates objected, but Darcy's father sweetened the deal with money. They agreed. Robert led Darcy forward, placing her hand in Tom's. As the guests began to sing, a cover for their sudden violent action, they shoved the pirates. Darcy seized a grenade, pulling the pin, and with a voice ringing with command, ordered the pirates to drop their weapons. They knelt. But one pirate bolted, firing. Tom's mother, Carol, a hidden warrior, grabbed a gun and unleashed a hail of bullets. Tom grabbed a stick, urging Darcy to throw the grenade up. He swung the stick like a baseball bat, connecting with the grenade, which rocketed toward the escaping pirate in a massive explosion. Harriet and Sean saw the blast and rushed back. Tom and Darcy evacuated the pool, and Tom entrusted his mother with their safety. Then they ran for the boat. Darcy saw the sign, "Just Married." This was Tom's surprise, the one that had started this whole wild ride. Sean arrived firing. They took cover. Tom's bullets ran out, and he yelled for Darcy to start the engine. They outmaneuvered Sean and sped away. Sean leaped onto the boat, grabbing a flare gun. He demanded Darcy stop. When she refused, he shot at Tom, who shielded himself. A fight erupted between the two men. Darcy, with a sudden reckless surge of speed, opened the parachute attached to the boat. Tom and Sean, suddenly airborne, found themselves dangling beneath the silk. Harriet from the helicopter opened fire, missing Darcy. Tom, with a final desperate stroke of ingenuity, used Darcy's fake hair from his pocket to climb back onto the boat. Darcy's relieved smile was dazzling. Together, using the family knife, they severed the parachute ropes. The parachute soared into the sky and crashed into the helicopter. The explosion was final, sinking both Harriet and Sean. Tom and Darcy collapsed onto the boat, their bodies finally relaxing into sleep. The story ends with the pirates rounded up by the police. Tom and Darcy, safe, stood before their guests for a second proper wedding. Their kiss was the seal of their survival, a passionate, well-deserved union that concluded their incredible tale.